Hello and welcome everybody to this uplifting and educational lunch and learn, which is brought to you by family partners of Maurice and Sussex counties. My name is Patricia Houston, and today are joining us Dana Wood-Fry and Cynthia Lapidus. Welcome, Dana and Cynthia.
Thanks for inviting us.
And Dana and Cynthia are from the New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse, New Jersey ARC, and also Kinship Legal Guardian Clearinghouse, KinKonnect. So today in this Lunch and Learn, we are going to learn a little bit more about New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse, New Jersey ARC. So Cynthia or Dana, let's go over about what is the New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. I'll take that. Hi, everyone. My name is dfried. I'm the Assistant Director for the New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, as well as the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, both programs of Children's Aid and Family Services. And with me today is Cynthia Lapidus, who's our training specialist and WARMLINE specialist, my right-hand person. We're glad to be here today. So what NJARCH, New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, what that is a web-based information resource center for anyone touched by adoption. So we've been around about 18 years. We're a website. We have a free lending library, resources, newsletter, lots of information, as well as a WARMLINE where people can call and ask questions. So, and we're going to go through a little bit more detail with this. We'll have a little PowerPoint and also show you the website as well. But we are run under the auspices of Children's Aid and Family Services, where anyone touched by adoption or really even foster care can benefit from the resources of NJARCH, New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse. We offer resources for those in the adoption constellation. And when we say the adoption constellation, that means pre-adoptive parents, post-adoptive parents, adoptees, birth parents. There are relatives who adopt their relatives, right? There are grandparents who adopt their grandchildren, or aunts and uncles who adopt their grandchildren. Step-parent adoptions. So adoptions is, kind of, it's not just a child being adopted by a parent or two, but it's the legal piece, and we'll talk more about that. But that's the resources that we offer within NJARCH. We have a website which includes adoption agencies, family support organizations like yourself, Patricia, mental health professionals, summer camps, support groups, e-learning, podcasts, publications. So anything dealing with adoption and some foster care we work with, we have available on our NJARCH website and our NJARCH program.
Thank you, Dana. Dana, I have a question because, as you know, we did a video about KinKonnect, and also sometimes we have questions about the New Jersey Resources Clearinghouse and KinKonnect. Would you please clarify the difference between the New Jersey Resources Clearinghouse versus KinKonnect?
Sure. So NJARCH is dealing with, again, adoption and foster care, children who are adopted, pre-adoptive, post-adoptive. KinKonnect, which is the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, is for kinship families, and it could be informal or formal. So when a grandparent goes to their court and has the custody of their child or their grandchild, their aunt or their uncle, that sort of thing. When an aunt or uncle has a custody with their niece or nephew, it's a kinship relationship. And kinship is a different type of relationship, legal relationship, than adoption. So KinKonnect is the sister program to NJARCH. So NJARCH is with adoption. KinKonnect is with kin, with relatives raising other relatives. And again, it could be formally through the state, it could be formally through the courts, or it could be just an informal relationship that a child is being raised by a relative. And that's the kin piece. And those are the two differences. And I know we did the KinKonnect overview in April. Now this is the NJARCH piece. So they are sister programs, but they're slightly different people who use that service.
Yeah, if any person would like more information about KinKonnect, we did a whole overview about KinKonnect, and that video is right there in the library for family partners YouTube library. So that information is in there. So Dana and Cynthia, I know that today we're gonna cover a lot of information about the organization, all of that, and also like in relation to the definition about the whole concept of adoptions and the different types of adoption, all of that. So I'm just gonna pass on this presentation to you guys. So Dana and Cynthia, you're more than welcome to take over.
Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes it's easier. I know people say PowerPoint, no, but sometimes it's easier to kind of see, verbalize and visualize what we're talking about. So again, we're doing an overview to NJR. Everyone can see that, right? I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. So this is myself and Cindy. This is our website. And again, I'm sure they'll be on the YouTube once it's done. So what is adoption? I think that people ask, gosh, what is that? And we can talk more about that, and Cindy will as well. But the adoption is a permanent legal transfer of all parental rights from one person or couple to another. And it could be relative adoptions, as it says here, step-parent, grandparent, other family members, or it could be unrelated. When a couple just says, I want to adopt a child, I want to adopt a baby. They're not related prior to the adoption. Once a child is adopted by parents, they have the same rights and responsibilities if the child was born to them. So it's just like they were born to them once the finalization is done. We consider adoptive parents real parents with all the emotional, social, legal, and kinship, could be kinship parent benefits of birth parents if it's a kinship adoption. Statistically, 1 out of 25 families with children have adopted a child, and about 5 million Americans alive today are adopted. And I read a statistic that 1 out of 6 people, if you ask them, 1 out of 6 knows someone who's touched by adoption. They're their adoptive parent, their child's adopted, that sort of thing. So it is really out there. The types of adoption, Cindy's going to go a little bit more into that, but you can adopt through the foster care system, out of state foster care system. I'm sure you have, know friends or know acquaintances that adopted a newborn domestically. You can adopt a child through international. There's something called step-parent and co-parent adoption and kinship adoption. So there's a lot of different adoptions that are out there. So, so what's out there to help you through your journey? And we think in New Jersey, it's us, NJR, New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse. And I mentioned this before. We have a website, lots of pages, sortable pages for resources. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. But we also have a free lending library, a newsletter, training workshops like what we're doing right now, and under the auspices of Children's Aid. We have a WARMLINE. You've heard of a hotline, right? Where you get immediate service. WARMLINE is you call and you have a question. You want some research done. You need a mental health professional. You're looking for a support group like an FSO in your area. So these are things that Cindy and I answer. Primarily Cindy, she's our primary WARMLINE specialist, but we answer lots of calls. Lots of websites in the whole tri-state area. Handbooks, publications, and the newsletter. And certainly if you'd like to get our newsletter, let Patricia know, and she can give us the email, and we'll get it over, we'll send it over to you. And it's also, everything's on our website. So what does this mean? So I'm thinking about adoption. I want to find an adoption agency. We have the list of adoption agency. I have an issue with my child or my family, and I need some professional help, mental health professional help about adoption issues. There's a list of mental health professionals that have adoption experience, crisis intervention, mobile response, FSOs, like we're here today, specialized summer camps, support groups, podcasts, and lots of information. So we have a really nice a list of, and it's sorted by county and by specialty on our website. We're open 24/7. Basically, you can leave a message and we'll call you back in the next day or so and try resolve your issue within about a week. And we're there for general support and just to listen. Here's a picture of our free lending library. We have about 3,000 books and articles and videos. We're physically located in South Orange, but you don't have to come to South Orange to borrow a book. You just go online, request a book, and they're all sorted by topic, by age group, a professional, children, Spanish, whatever that might be. Request it online. And what we do is we take the book and we'll physically send it to you in the mail with a self-addressed stamped envelope to give it back, send it back to us in the mail. So it's a really nice service. And again, we focus on adoption and kinship because the KinKonnect library is in here as well. So we have kinship programs, books. Everything, we do have a couple of bilingual workers, so we can do some translation, and the whole website can be translated into Spanish on a click of a button. So that's a nice service that we have. We have a list of events. It's a free listing. So Patricia or anyone else who's on this line would like to add their event, you can do that. And we do that for free, and just you submit it and we'll add it in so people can see what's going on in the state. This is just a picture of our website. If we have time, we'll give you a quick walkthrough a little bit later. But on the top left there, it says resources. That's sort of our, you know, our gold star, if you will, of all the resources in the state. When you click that, it actually comes up with a map of the state. And the top portion talks about the counties, and the bottom portion, it's hard to read here. That's why we'll probably look at it later. In alphabetical order, adoption agencies, camps, crisis intervention, family support organizations. You can just click off what you're looking for, and there'll be a list that comes through. So that's basically NJ Arch. And again, we'll go into more detail with more questions, Patricia, if you want it. And then KinKonnect, which we talked about in a previous Lunch and Learn, is information center for kinship care families. It's a smaller website, smaller program, because not quite as many kinship families, although that is increasing through the years. And it's the sister program, the NJ Arch, and we're run under, again, the auspices of Children's Aid. Same sort of thing. What do we offer? You know, resources, information on Kinship Navigator, the same free library, handbook, publications, training workshops. You can give us a call. These are samples of a couple of our newsletters. If you want to sign up, you're welcome to do that, and we'll send it over to you. And that's it. We just wanted to do a quick overview before we get into more detailed questions. But we do have an email that you can email us with questions or give us a call, one for NJ Arch, one for KinKonnect, and that's where we're physically located in South Orange. And that is.
Thank you, Dana. Cynthia, you would like to take over now?
So yeah, sure. So I guess, Dana, you kind of covered all of the answers to the questions. So we were going to talk about what the different type. First, Dana, you did a great job talking about, you know, what adoption is, and that it is the permanent transfer of rights to new parents, and also that, you know, that the children also have the same rights as if they were born to those parents as well. That's another key aspect too, including inheritance. And then when the next part was talking about the different types of adoption, and there really are many different types of adoption. There is adopting from the New Jersey foster care system, and you can become a resource parent first, which is a foster parent, and then if the child that you're fostering becomes available for adoption, there is the possibility that you would then go ahead and adopt that child. Or you could come into the program looking at the list of waiting children in the state of New Jersey, and that's called a select home adoption. And right now, the state of New Jersey is looking for families that are open to children with complex behavioral health, development, and medical needs, or adolescents and youth age 13 or over, as well as sibling groups of 4 or more. Then there's also adopting from out-of-state foster care. And some people may have seen the website called adoptuskids.org. There's a listing of children who are free for adoption throughout the entire United States. And it's possible to adopt children from out-of-state foster care. You just would need to use a private agency in New Jersey to do your home study, and that agency then would work with the foster care system in another state. Then there's the adopting through newborn domestic adoption program, and that's where you would work with a private agency in New Jersey to do your home study, and then either an agency or a lawyer to help with the placement of a child. And in newborn domestic adoption, there's a lot of openness in adoption, meaning that the expectant mother is actually the one who would make the decision who her child would be placed with, and then there would be create a relationship between adoptive parents and birth parents moving forward. And then there's adopting internationally. There are many countries that you can adopt from internationally, and a wonderful website to kind of look into what countries do international adoption is rainbowkids.org, rainbowkids.org. And it's a little complicated, and so it's really important to have an adoption agency helping you with international adoption. You would follow the laws of the U.S. Department of the State. And many countries are Hague accredited, which means that they have signed a treaty that went into effect in the U.S. on April 1st, 2008. And it's designed to promote the best interest of children, birth families, and adoptive families in adoption between the participating countries. And it really protects kids from being abducted, sold, or trafficked. There's a lot of laws that are really protecting those kids. And there is you are also able to work with non-Hague accredited countries, but the U.S. follows the same laws as they do with the Hague countries. So these are there's so many different types of adoption with so many different types of questions, and that's why it's great if you give us a call, send us an email. We'd be happy to kind of walk you through it and send you to the right agencies or the right professionals that could get you started on the process.
Cynthia, and because we do know there is a lot of information in relation to adoption and the topic can be really complex, would you please, let's go back in relation to resources that might be available for families. Let's say somebody is considering adoption.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so if you are considering adoption and you live in the state of New Jersey, you would have to have a home study done by a licensed New Jersey agency. And so we at NJR have a full list of all of the licensed New Jersey agencies. And even that list it can be confusing because different agencies do different types of adoption. So definitely give us a call and we'll walk you through and we'll figure out what you're looking for and help you to find the right agency to contact. We also have a list of support groups in New Jersey, so you can meet other adoptive parents or other adult adoptees. We also, help adult adoptees connect with other adult adoptees. We help with helping families to figure out search and reunion, helping adult adoptees figure out the whole search and reunion process as well. And we have, just so much information, so many education websites, so many trainings and conferences we could share with you. Podcasts, online support groups. We really try and make sure that we have a full listing of supports.
Cynthia, so what I'm understanding in here is the first step is to call either Cynthia or Dana's organization, right?
Yeah, I think that the whole world of adoption is very confusing. So, I think that it's a great idea if you give the NJR a call, and we will just kind of get an idea of what you're looking for and help you to figure out where to go from there.
Yeah, because you don't want anybody to get misleading information. And I think the source from where that information comes from is very important. So in my opinion, it's really important, let's say if somebody has any question about this topic, just to reach out to your organization.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So Cynthia, taking into consideration that circumstances may change from family to family, how long do you think is the average time into the process for adopting a child?
Yeah, so that is such a golden question. There really is no exact timeline. Every adoption process is different. There's really no way. If you're adopting from foster care, the timeline's gonna be based on the needs of what's in the best interest for that child. If you're doing a newborn domestic adoption, you're not in line. You are waiting for an expectant mom to say, oh, this is the type of family that I really wanted for my my child, and that you're creating a relationship with that expectant mom. So it's not, there's not a timeline in that process either. In international adoption, there tends to be a little bit more of a timeline where you're in sort of a line, and each country is different depending on the laws of the country and what the processes are there. And it depends on what your hopes and dreams are, whether you're what are the ages of the child that you're looking for? Are you looking for siblings? Are you looking for one child? Are you open to a child with special needs? Are you open to a child with medical conditions? All those factor into the timeline.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. And let's go a little bit deeper in relation to this topic, because I know there are a lot of questions about this topic. So let's say once you adopt a child, what resources are available for families to continue their journey with their adopted child?
Yeah, and so we at NJRH really try to make sure that we capture all the resources available on our website. And yeah, you connect you to support groups so that you have connection to other adoptive families, and so that your child has a connection to other kids that were adopted, so that they have a community too. And we can connect you to mental health professionals that specialize in adoption. So we're going to connect you to whatever resources are available in the state and even beyond, because we have a lot of virtual supports as well.
I was looking at the website, and your website has a lot of information, amazing information that I know a lot of families, providers, everybody are gonna benefit from that information. So let's take a look at your website so families and providers can see all the resources that you guys have.
Sure. Oops. Yeah, and I'm gonna take over here. Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Great job. It's no one knows more about adoption than Cindy. She's been in the field for like 30 years, and she really knows, and she's done home studies, and she really knows her stuff. So she's a great person to talk to. So if you just type in NJRH, www.njrh.org, this is our website. So I showed a picture of this during the PowerPoint. We have sliders, there's lots of information, and then sub-tabs here. So on the left-hand side, like we were mentioning, this is sort of our gold piece is, I make sure, okay, you guys can see this, right? We're in,
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Cindy, let me know if there's any disruption. Okay, so we go into resources, and here's a map of New Jersey, and you could, just click here in Morris and see all the different resources in Morris County in alphabetical order. And look at this, it goes 12 pages worth of information. Well, let's say you want to, let's see, where are we? Let's go back. I'm sorry, since I'm having trouble on the thing there. Okay, so this is what I recommend is the advanced search. So let's say you want every county in New Jersey, and you're about to, you're thinking about adoption. So you can select adoption agency throughout the whole state and the tri-state area, Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, and other that we have. And you can see here, we have adoption agencies, you have camps, crisis intervention, family support, family success, FSOs, fetal alcohol, heritage tours, legal services, LGBTQ, medical, mental health, mobile response. So all these different things that we believe can help the adoptive family or pre-adoptive family or the adoptee or the birth parent. And when you click search in alphabetical order, it will actually come up with a list of all the adoption agencies. If you open up all the resources right here, it kind of opens up all the information here. So A Living Hope, A Loving Choice, Adoption ARC, Adoption Services. So let's say I'm interested, I live down in South Jersey, I'm interested in, let's say Adoptions from the Heart. You click on the name and it gives you a little bit more information. It says where the address is, who's the contact person, what's the website, what's the email, how long they've been in business, et cetera, et cetera. So all the details are there. So this is a really nice thing that we keep up with as much as we can with resources. And just to let you know, when we have resources, we don't add resources without their consent. So we just don't pop in resources. We get information from them, and they consent to have this information on here. So this is the resource piece. Let's see, free lending library. You can actually look at all, let's see, all the books, advanced search. And here, let's say you're looking for a children's book about foster care, and you're interested in some books like that, and siblings. Let's say they have, siblings in foster care, and you hit the search button. Well, I didn't see, I gotta click on books there, which I thought it did. And then it actually gives you information about that particular book, a picture of it, a brief description, when it was published, hard or soft cover, the ISBN, and then if you just click to borrow, then there'll be a form there that you can fill out. It actually goes to Cindy, and then we will send you the book for free with self-addressed stamped envelope to send it back to us for free. So that's a nice service that we talked about with NJR and also with KinKonnect, because we have the same sort of thing. Conferences and trainings. So this is something that we mentioned, that let's say you want a list of event right here. Patricia, you can actually click here and add your event. But we have lots of different events that's going on and different conferences. So I think we're pretty lucky in New Jersey. There's a lot of things going on. And because especially due to COVID, a lot of things are virtual now. So for example, NACAC, which is the North American Council of Adoptable Children, that's always been in person. Well, the last 3 years, it's been virtually, so anyone can attend. So there's no information, it's got the dates, it's got the website, and then people can find out more information. So let's see, and we have more about us. Publications is really nice. This is a really great one, I think. So this is, we have probably at least 100 downloadable handbooks relating to adoption and foster care. This particular page, you know how David Letterman always, maybe you guys are too young for that, but David Letterman used to say, what's the top 10 of whatever situation is? Top 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Well, we did the top 15 downloadable web handbook. So this one is actually just been updated and it's brand new. It's been updated by us, but written by the Kid Law Center, which is part of Advocates for Children in New Jersey. And this is a guide to special education. So I suspect, Patricia, your folks would be interested in this. And this is something that they can just download themselves. Like, what's an IEP? What's the evaluation process? Special education for children, disabilities, et cetera, et cetera. When you turn 18, what happens with the child with special ed? So it's got this whole, so we have lots of, so we don't write these booklets, but we put them on our website so folks can download. So that's a really nice, nice one. And so then we have lots of different information. Those who are getting a little bit older, I love this booklet as well. The kids who are that are transitioning maybe from foster care into independent living. And this is actually nice information. It's got worksheets in here about like, hey, how do you sign up for, how do you get, car insurance? How do you open up a checking account? All these things that could be, what's your goals? What do you want to do with your life? And you start in with some goals and objectives, and you can work with children on that. So it's just nice publications there. Okay, so any questions on this? Again, just go into ngrh.org. We do have virtual supports. We have online support groups, podcasts, e-learning. So before I move away, because I think we're running out of time, let me just jump over to KinKonnect. So we talked about the Kinship Care Clearinghouse. You can see that, right? So, okay, so this is the sister program that we talked about before. It's got the same idea. It's got resources, the free lending library, events, publications, things in the news, conferences. And it talks about what's a caregiver. And then it has a direct link to the Kinship Navigator program, which is something that Patricia, I know you brought in someone from the Navigator program I think in April as well. So it's got all this really good information. So, if you wanted to find out more about the Navigator program, we have a full page on Navigator, dial 211, and you find out more information. So again, the kinship piece is not the adoption piece. This is the legal part. It could be informal kinship relationships with a child, or an informal or formal with kinship. And that's what we support that. And again, Cynthia and I support this as well. So that's NJ Arch, and this is KinKonnect, just to give you an idea what both of them are about. So let me stop there.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you for all the amazing information that you just shared. And also, Cindy, thank you very much for that information. And I know that, oh my God, time is flying. So the time is going really fast, but I would like to hear Dana and Cynthia's final thoughts before we conclude this presentation.
Sure. Well, I know for myself, give us a call. Like Cindy said, if you're thinking about adoption, or Patricia said, you're thinking about this adoption, foster care, kinship, give us a call. Again, the WARMLINE, if you want to email us, and we can put it into the chat, it's warmline@njarch.org. Yep. Or the phone number is 877 and it's 4ARCH-NJ, or it means 877-427-2465. We'll put that in the chat. And for KinKonnect, if you want to email us, it's warmline@kinkonnect.org. And the phone number there is 877-KLG-LINE, LINE, or 877-554-5463.
Thank you, Dana. Cindy, any final thoughts?
Yeah, and don't worry about if you're emailing WARMLINE@NJ Arch or WARMLINE@KinKonnect. It comes to both of us. We'll help you either way. And so we're always available to help. And sometimes it's for yourselves, for families that you're working with. Pass along our information. We would be thrilled to help out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dana and Cynthia, for doing this presentation for us, as well. Thank every single person in here for joining us. And I just want to remind everybody, I know that I mentioned it at the beginning, but all the information for Dana and Cynthia's organization is going to be right below this video, and also Family Partners website and contact information. All that information is going to be right below this video. So now it's time for Q&A. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Patricia.